Hey everybody, thanks for joining me for this video. This is a new thing I'm calling Facebook Forum, and basically what I did this morning was I opened up my Facebook fan page, and you can get there by going to facebook.com/beautybroadcast, become a fan, and you can comment on the wall and stuff, and I take a lot of requests there. It's just probably one of the easiest ways to get through to me, and I can immediately comment back, and the beautiful thing about it is everybody can see my answer, and it may help other people along the way to just have it so public like that. But anyway, today I posted a comment on there and I said, ask me any beauty question and I will use your questions in the video I post today. So I gave it about a 2-hour period. It turned up about 30 questions on there. So I'm just going to start now and try to get through as many as I can in about, say, 10 to 15 minutes here. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started then. The first question is from Nada. She says, how should I maintain my eyebrows? I pluck occasionally, but they're very thin. I try to fill them in as well. However, black is too harsh and brown is too light. I'm Asian, so they are black. Okay, so she wants help filling in her eyebrows. What I like to do is use a dark brown matte shadow. What I've been using is one from L'Oreal. It's just a dark brown single shadow, and I use a little stiff angled brush to kind of go in and fill in areas in my eyebrows. Now my eyebrows aren't super thin to begin with, but I feel like the powders are a little more forgiving than a pencil is. If you've taken a black pencil to your brows and you feel like it's showing up too dark, maybe go with just a deep matte powder. You don't want to get shimmer in there. It's really going to make it not look very natural. But sometimes there are other brow powders out there. I know NYC has a nice little brow kit that actually has sort of the waxy sort of product that you can put on there with a brush and then top it off with the powder, and you've got more of a long wearing look. So keep in mind that powders can be a really good way to you know, give your eyebrows a boost. Even if you did go ahead, if you got major problems with your thin brows and you want to take that lighter pencil and fill in that way and then top it off with a slightly darker powder, that might be a good combination for you there. Next question from Karen. Face primers, what's their purpose and do they really work? Some work, some don't. That's a good question. But what primers are supposed to do is extend the wear of your foundation and help your foundation go on more smoothly by basically filling in pores, lines, and things like that. Obviously, it's not going to fill in the deepest wrinkle, but it is going to give your face a smoother finish. One of my favorites is Smashbox Photo Finish, but another one, this will address another question a little ways down. What's a good face, and that was from Jennifer, what's a good face primer that isn't high-end? I like Rimmel Fix and Perfect. I know there are a few other drugstore primers out there, but that's one that I've tried that I really like. I haven't tried a whole lot beyond that, actually, because I have enjoyed Fix and Perfect. It has sort of a peachy tone to it, but it works with most skin tones, and you just put it on. It's somewhat creamy, and I do feel like it extends the wear, but ultimately what I feel like the biggest benefit to a primer has been for me has been just to help your makeup go on more smoothly. It just helps the feel, and therefore the makeup spreads better on your skin. You want to definitely put that on after a moisturizer. Let your moisturizer sink in for a couple minutes, and then go ahead and put your primer on and then your foundation. Next one, can you do a makeup collection video? And yeah, I need to do one. I know I need to update that. I've been asked that before, and it's kind of like my collection keeps growing and I keep reorganizing and kind of redoing how I've got it laid out there. So I think something like that will probably be coming in the coming months. I'm just sort of still messing around with my area right now, still trying to figure out better lighting solutions for my tutorials, so probably once I get a solution there with my whole setup, then I'll just show it all. So yeah, thanks for that question. Next one is from Stephanie. What are some of your favorite perfumes and body sprays? I love a lot of the perfumes from Victoria's Secret. I once was given a little sampler of a bunch of different kinds, and I love so many of those. I love Very Sexy, and I think one's called Supermodel, and the body spray, the pink body spray. It's in like kind of a fresh and clean kind of scent. I really like those. I like some of the Body Fantasies body sprays, like there's an apple one that I've used that's really good. I like fruity and sweet scents. I like things that smell like cotton candy and just really, really sweet scents like that. I do like a lot of body sprays, and I try to layer my scents like with a lotion and then a body spray over the top of it, so it kind of lasts a little bit longer that way. Jennifer says, oh, she asked about the face primer, the inexpensive face primer. I answered that. Oralee says, how to achieve super sexy beachy waved hair without hot rollers or a curling iron. Well, here's what you can do, and I've done this before. You could go ahead and braid your hair, and like maybe you could do a couple of braids, or if you wanted a more concentrated, tighter wave, you could do several, and go ahead and spritz them down with some water, or spritz them with like a spray gel, or maybe a hairspray of some sort that you like to use, and leave them like that. Maybe sleep in them, or wear those throughout part of a day or something like that, and then let them down, and you'll have a really neat wave there, and that means without using any kind of styling tool. Another thing you can do is kind of make little pin curls with your hair, and like take little sections like this and kind of twist them around and curl them up and like pin them with a bobby pin, and then maybe spray them with some hairspray or some sort of setting type spray, and you could sleep with them that way. There are also there's a set of things called, I think they're called Wrap, Snap, and Go, and they're available at Sally Beauty Supply. I have these, and they really work. They're like little foamy fabric covered pieces that are about this long, and they have snaps at the ends, and you just wrap your hair around it like it's a curling iron, twist it up and snap it, and you can sleep in them, and then you wake up and you've got some really nice curls actually. So just make sure your hair is dry before doing that one, because otherwise I think it kind of will mess up the effect, and they're kind of foamy, and I think it'll soak into the foam, and so you don't want to deal with issues there. But if you do braids, you could do that on slightly damp hair, and then, you know, sleep on it or something. Next, after your eye makeup is done and you put on mascara, your mascara smears on your upper eye. How do you fix it without taking the whole eye makeup off? Great question there. If you just have a little dot of that somewhere that's just gotten on one random place, I would say go ahead and leave it there, let it get dry, and then take a little Q-tip or just your finger, and sometimes that will flake right off and you won't even be able to tell. So sometimes instead of completely freaking out and rubbing it immediately, let it dry and then you can flake it off. Or sometimes if I get something like, say, right on my eyelid and it's just not coming off, like it was just such a small spot that it's not even flaking off, I'll take a Q-tip, get a little eye makeup remover on it, and just go over that very spot without doing a whole lot of rubbing back and forth, but just kind of saturating that one spot, get rid of the spot, and then maybe go over it with a little bit of eyeshadow. I think the key is just to not freak out and don't rub like all over it, because sometimes it's just a very, very small fix and you can make it work again. Next, what's your opinion on brands that test on animals? Well, I've got to say that I'm not fully probably as educated as I should be on exactly what brands are testing on animals. I know of a few offhand that are, and I do use almost every brand testing it out regardless. And it's not that I support animal testing, although some people might see it that way because I'm still buying the product, I'm still supporting the company. But I mean, if I was ever in a position where I could stop animal testing, I think I would do it. I'm an animal lover. I enjoy animals, and I hate some of the processes that they may be put through, although I'm not totally sure what they are. So I think, do I need to educate myself more on that? Absolutely, I do. But I feel like for the purpose of what I do here, reviewing products, reviewing the quality of the products, that's sort of what my focus has been up until now. What's the best drugstore concealer you've tried? There are different formulations, different reasons why I like certain concealers, but I do like Maybelline Mineral Power. That's one that I direct a lot of people toward who say, I want to cover up blemishes, and I don't want to irritate them anymore with a thick, heavy concealer. I feel like that can conceal, but it's very light and very good for sensitive skin. Then I like NYX concealer in a jar if you're into that more creamy consistency concealer, something that's kind of, it's one of the closest things that I've found to Bobbi Brown's creamy concealer because it's very good for around the eye area. As far as the Hard Candy concealer palette that I've recently tried, I haven't quite worked with that enough to know for sure if I like that yet. Next up, although I love the packaging, I'm just saying I need to kind of run some more comparisons to it. Tyler's giving me a little, I told Tyler to give me a little time cue and I got about 10 minutes. Oh gosh, I'm not going to get through all these. Okay, I'm going to have to run through some very, very quickly. Samantha says, how do you pick the right foundation for combination and very fair skin? For combination, you're going to want to look for foundations that say they're oil-free, matte, or, you know, things that lead you to believe that they are not laden with oil. And also for the color, I'm assuming you're referring to looking for a foundation in a drugstore. I say go ahead and find something in your current collection now that is a close match to you. Bring that to the store and kind of use that to match up with other shades that you think might work. Whenever I take my makeup off at night, this is from Alexandra, I use heavy-duty cold cream and then a makeup remover all over her face. But basically she says she knows I recommend the makeup removing cloths, but she says they don't get it all off for her, and she wakes up with smudgy black eyeliner still. The Olay Daily facials, I use them for combination to oily skin. They work great for me. I use them on my eyes. They don't irritate my eyes, and they get rid of all my eye makeup. I must say I don't use waterproof eye makeup, so I don't know if maybe some of that is lingering on your eyes, but they work fine for me. I would say if you're still having problems with some eye makeup remaining on there, just use a separate eye makeup remover and some cotton balls, kind of hold them over your eyes, wiggle them just a little bit, and it should help remove the excess eye makeup. I will still at times wake up with just maybe a teeny bit of residue, but before I start my makeup, I just take a Q-tip and some eye makeup remover and get rid of all of that. Next one, which celebrities look do you love the most and why? Gosh, there are a lot that I really admire and like. I would say for my day-to-day, I really think about Robin Meade in terms of having great makeup, hairstyle, for news anchoring. That's what I do. So I kind of keep that in the back of my mind. I really like the way she comes off on camera. She's the one with the book that I wrote. She anchors for CNN on HLN. But other celebrities, I generally really like Kim Kardashian's look. I just kind of maybe associate with her dark hair and dark features. I like the way her makeup is done almost all the time. So, and I also love, I mentioned this in my blog the other day, I think the people on Dancing with the Stars have amazing makeup. The makeup artists do a great job on the celebrities and the pro dancers. I think a lot of those pro dancers are just gorgeous to begin with, but I mean, their makeup is just amazing and fun to look at, so I really like them as well. Please recommend a good moisturizer. This is from Rebecca. Well, I'm not sure what skin type you have, Rebecca, so that would make a difference for me, but if you have oily skin, I really like Neutrogena Oil-Free Moisture for people who are already dealing with some oil on their skin. Clean and Clear has some good light moisturizers. Just make sure it says oil-free. They have like several different separate lines, but I feel like those have been good light moisturizers for me when I'm looking for something light. I also like, there have been different brands that I've tried. Silk Bee, if you're looking for an online, like all very pure, natural, organic brand, Silk Bee is a good one. I also like, if you've got aging skin, or you're worried about, you're wanting to counteract the aging process, as I know somebody asked this down a little ways further here on my list of questions, the Mary Kay Time Wise stuff is really good as well. I tend to change my moisturizer with the seasons a little bit. I'm going to be soon getting into a time where my skin feels a little drier in the winter time, so I might opt for something just a little bit heavier, but during the summer, you know, really those oil-free moisturizers where that is their big claim, I think is a good thing. Next up, okay, this was a great question. Tips for using eyeshadows in a way that isn't so bold and obvious. This is from, wait, did I say this one from, this is from Alexandra. I have the Coastal Scents 88 palette, but I tend to only use about 1/5 of the colors because I'm afraid of the really bold ones. Wonderful question. Even on an everyday work day, I'm probably not going to walk in there in bright green, turquoise eye looks. However, I feel like I can incorporate a little bit of the color and do sort of a peekaboo eye look, if you know what I mean. That means maybe taking like the brightest color, using it on your lid, and then using a matte black or deep matte charcoal gray type shade to deepen your crease. These colors are going to come off a lot more bold if that's all you use. You know what I mean? If you use that shade and that shade only, and only the bright shades from your lid to your crease to up in here. So I think to calm it down, you want to use a not too crazy shade up on your brow bone for your highlight. Keep that almost skin tone. Take your brighter shade and maybe consider using that on the lid. Use a lighter white shade to highlight the inner corner, and a deeper shade, like I said, if what you've got here is bright and shimmery, like maybe a pretty lilac purple or something like that, take a black or a charcoal shade that is fairly matte and use that to tone down your crease. So what you're going to wind up there with is a kind of a multi-dimensional eye look that's not one flat bright shade all across. You're going to have a lighter area, darker area. You've created some contrast, but it's not going to be I think what people are picturing, which is, oh my gosh, I see this palette of blues and orange and red and green, and how do I make that work? You've got to work in some neutrals in there with it. I think a deep brown shade is nice to tone down orange or yellow. I like using black and charcoal with, say, the blues and purples and green families there as well. Alright guys, I think I'm going to have to wrap it up at that. I still have a few more questions, a lot more questions that I wasn't able to get to, but this is something I think I'm going to do in the future, and maybe I'll have it a little more focused in terms of the topics I'd like your questions on, but this was fun. I think this is great to just get your ideas, see what you're interested in on any given day, and give you my feedback. So thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.